All right, Raiders fans, buckle up because we're diving straight into everything happening with our silver and black. The preseason has been a roller coaster, and if you've been paying attention, you know the quarterback situation is where all eyes are glued. Geno Smith has been solid when he's out there, but honestly, the spotlight is on Aidan O'Connell and Cam Miller. This quarterback battle has been more intense than most expected, with AOC needing to pick up the pace and execute faster. The preseason numbers haven't been kind. 3 interceptions and just 1 touchdown, but the talent is there. Cam Miller isn't a walk-on either. He's pushing for that starting role, and the Raiders are making sure they see what both guys can really do under pressure. Pete Carroll's system demands mobility and quick reads, and Aidan has to show he can deliver on both counts. It's the kind of competition that could define this offense going forward, especially with Chip Kelly at the helm trying to mold the new system. Whether Geno gets a snap in the final preseason game is anyone's guess, but strategically, getting a taste of him on the field could provide some insight for the coaches. Still, the real focus remains on seeing the chemistry and the decision-making from AOC and Miller. Every deep ball, every option run, every read will be under the microscope. Shifting to the running back room, this is where things get fascinating. Ashton Gentry has been the standout, showing that physicality and versatility that make him a likely lock for the roster. He's the guy who can carry the load, both between the tackles and as a pass protector, and if he gets the touches in this game, fans are going to be watching every step. Behind him, the competition is fierce. Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, Chris Collier, Dylan Lowe, and Sincere McCormick are all fighting for spots, and honestly, the preseason has left a lot of question marks about who will make it. Collier's production has been solid. Lowe has shown flashes, and McCormick and White are still battling inconsistencies. The Raiders are likely to carry 4 running backs, which makes this a high-stakes week for those on the bubble. The nuances, pass protection, catching out of the backfield, route running, all factor heavily into who survives the cut. Watching how each player performs against a team like the Arizona Cardinals will tell us a lot about who can step up when the regular season begins. Wide receivers are another group with plenty to prove. Jacoby Myers has had his frustrations off the field, and whether he sees snaps in this game is uncertain. Trey Tucker is also questionable, which means rookies and young players have a chance to shine. Dante Thornton Jr. has been showing chemistry with Geno Smith, particularly in stretching the field vertically, and that connection is one the Raiders are eager to develop. Tommy Malone is still finding his place. He's a 6th-round pick expected to make an impact, but he's far from a lock. The other receivers, Alex Bachman, Colin Johnson, Philip Dorsett, Marquez Callaway, each have their opportunities to prove themselves. Cedric Jackson has been impressive, leading the team in preseason receiving yards, and while he may be fighting for a practice squad spot, his production shows promise. In a season where depth and versatility can make all the difference, seeing these receivers take advantage of their opportunities is key. The cornerback and secondary groups might be the most scrutinized position unit of all. Coverage is the metric that matters most, and the Raiders need to show that they can hold up against passing attacks. With all the athletic talent on the field, the ability to read routes, anticipate throws, and close quickly will define how this secondary is viewed. The pressure is on not just to make plays, but to consistently disrupt opponents' timing. Tight ends present another interesting storyline. Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer are familiar names, but for Raiders fans, the spotlight is on Ian Thomas and Alberto. Thomas has struggled in the preseason, with drops and missed blocks highlighting that being the 3rd tight end is not a guaranteed spot. Alberto provides some versatility, but the battle for that 3rd tight end role could come down to who can perform when it matters most. Carter Renah, an undrafted free agent, has impressed with his route running and ability to find space, proving that even players from smaller schools can make an impact if given the chance. The tight end room could be a place where hidden gems emerge, and fans are eager to see who steps up. The offensive line continues to be a central concern. JPJ and Alex Kappa are the ones to watch, especially with the right guard spot up for grabs. Continuity and chemistry are crucial here, and the Raiders need an offensive line that can trust each other, protect the quarterback, and open lanes for the running game. Rookie Caleb Rogers has shown potential, Charles Grant has upside, and Dalton Wagner has been steady, but the mix of veterans and newcomers must gel quickly to avoid early season struggles. This unit's performance will have ripple effects on the entire offense, from the quarterback play to the running game, and every snap is an evaluation. On the defensive side, the end and tackle positions are loaded with talent and questions. Max Crosby, Malcolm Cowan, and Terry Wilson are players fans are watching closely. Cowan's hand usage and understanding of defensive schemes are there, but his first step needs to return post-injury. Wilson is showing promise as a versatile athlete, and the Raiders need both to step up, especially with potential suspensions looming that could alter the rotation. Adam Butler, Taka Hemingway, J.J. Pages, Thomas Booker, and John Lalla form a group where opportunity meets necessity. Preseason games like this are critical for younger players to show they belong, and for the coaching staff to see who can handle reps under real game conditions. Linebackers are another crucial unit. The Raiders have talent, from Jamal Adams' relentless pursuit to Devin White's speed, but coverage ability remains the top evaluation point. Tommy Eichenberg and others must show they can drop into coverage effectively, while still contributing against the run. Jalen Smith has been a pleasant surprise, showing more than expected in film study. UDFA Matt Jones, Amari Gaynor, and Michael Barrett each have to make their presence felt. Coverage and versatility in this linebacker core will be one of the defining factors of the Raiders' defensive success this season. All right, let SD the ability to react when the play breaks down. These guys are being watched not only for their physical skill cornerback on the roster. The depth in the secondary is equally important. Linebackers who can cover and safeties who can read the field make the difference between a defense that bends and one that stands tall. Players like Jamal Adams and Devin White are known commodities. They can disrupt the backfield, chase down ball carriers, and provide that hard-hitting presence every defense needs. But the Raiders' secondary has to show that it can match up against the speed and precision of top receivers. It's a chess match out there, and everyone is playing their moves in real time. Preseason games may not count in the standings, but they count in evaluation, and the coaching staff is scrutinizing every alignment, every reaction, every zone drop. The ability to stay disciplined and avoid blown coverages is the difference between earning a roster spot and sitting on the practice squad. Defensive backs aren't just covering wideouts. They're also responsible for supporting the run and making tackles in open space. The Raiders want to see corners who can tackle effectively, who don't bite on fakes, and who could transition from coverage to run support without hesitation. Mistakes in preseason are costly not in points, but in evaluation, and players like Tyreek Wilson and Malcolm Cowan need to show that they can combine athleticism with discipline. Wilson has been impressive in flashes, showing the explosiveness to get off blocks and pressure quarterbacks, but the Raiders need to see that translate consistently over the course of a game. Cowan, coming back from injury, has to regain that first-step burst that allows him to dominate matchups against tight ends and offensive tackles. Every snap counts, because the competition is fierce and the margins between making the team and being cut are razor-thin. Shifting to the defensive line, depth and versatility are key themes. Adam Butler and J.J. Pages are expected to anchor rotations, but the Raiders also have Thomas Booker and John Lalla, who are young and hungry for snaps. These players have to show that they can maintain gap integrity, disrupt plays, and handle the grind of NFL line play. Preseason games are about more than stats. They're about showing technique, strength, and adaptability against real NFL competition. Coaches are looking for players who can execute their assignments under pressure, maintain leverage, and make consistent plays against both the run and the pass. This is where rookies can rise and veterans can reaffirm their value, and it's why every rep is scrutinized. Linebackers continue to be a litmus test for the Raiders' defensive identity. Coverage ability is paramount, but so is the ability to read offensive schemes and react instinctively. Players like Tommy Eichenberg must demonstrate that they can balance run-stopping responsibilities with coverage duties. Devin White's speed and Jamal Adams' versatility provide a foundation, but depth players must also show competence. Jalen Smith has already shown promise, exceeding expectations in coverage and open field tackling. UDFA Matt Jones, Amari Gaynor, and Michael Barrett each have unique opportunities to stake a claim on the roster. For a linebacker core, the ability to adjust, communicate, and support both the defensive line and secondary is critical. The Raiders need players who can not only make plays, but also anticipate and react in real time, maintaining the integrity of the defense under pressure. Moving on to tight ends, this group has had its share of storylines. Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer bring name recognition, but for the Raiders, Ian Thomas and Albert O are at the center of attention. Thomas has struggled in preseason with drops and missed assignments, which puts pressure on him to execute flawlessly if he wants to secure his spot. Albert O offers versatility and blocking ability, but the battle between these two could determine who becomes the reliable third option. Carter Renah, a small school UDFA, has shown remarkable route running and ability to create separation. His performance in preseason might not just earn him a roster spot, but could also change the way the Raiders use their tight end package. For this group, it's about consistency, reliability, and impact in every situation. Preseason allows coaches to see who can deliver under pressure and who is simply filling space. The offensive line remains a critical focus. JPJ and Alex Kappa headline the group, particularly with the right guard position up for contention. Continuity, trust, and chemistry across the 5 positions are crucial for a functional and effective offense. The Raiders need linemen who can execute schemes, communicate under pressure, and provide both protection and run blocking. Rookie Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant have shown flashes, but there's still work to be done to integrate them fully. Dalton Wagner's stability helps, but overall, the line has to demonstrate cohesion and reliability. Preseason is where fundamentals meet evaluation, and every snap shows coaches how well these players can handle the speed and complexity of NFL defenses. The running back room, wide receivers, and quarterback competitions all interconnect with offensive line performance. Ashton Gentry's power and versatility make him a standout, but the supporting cast must also prove their value. Raheem Mostert, Zamir White, Chris Collier, and others are under constant evaluation, as their ability to pass protect, receive, and run effectively will determine roster spots. Wide receivers like Dante Thornton Jr., Cedric Jackson, and Tommy Malone must showcase chemistry, consistency, and playmaking ability. The quarterback battle between Aiden O'Connell and Cam Miller continues to be a storyline, with both needing to show decision-making, mobility, and accuracy. Every group is interconnected, and preseason performance informs the coaching staff about how all the pieces fit together. Ultimately, this phase of the Raiders' preseason is about proof and potential. Every snap, every tackle, every route, every throw matters. From corners reading receivers to defensive ends breaking through the line, from tight ends executing assignments to rookies fighting for practice squad spots, every player has a moment to stake their claim. The coaching staff is watching, the fans are analyzing, and the roster will be shaped by performance under pressure. In the next games, we'll see which players rise to the challenge, which groups show cohesion, and which positions remain a question mark. The energy, talent, and competition on this team are palpable, and Raiders fans should be ready to witness battles both on and off the field that will define the season ahead. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been circulating through the corridors of the NFL ever since news broke that Jack Jones has been signed as the new defensive sheriff of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the excitement among fans and analysts alike cannot be understated. Known in professional circles as the Hunter, due to his relentless pursuit of quarterbacks and ball carriers, Jones brings a reputation for high-impact play and unyielding defensive leadership. Scouts had long debated whether his physicality would translate from college stardom to the high-octane demands of the NFL, but the Raiders' front office clearly decided that his aggressive style and instinctual understanding of defensive schemes made him an indispensable asset. Rumors suggest that his signing was not only about shoring up a struggling secondary, but also about instilling a sense of fear and respect into opponents who may have underestimated the Raiders' defensive capabilities in previous seasons. As the narrative unfolds, insiders hint that Jones' presence could redefine the defensive identity of the team, transforming a unit once criticized for inconsistency into a force capable of dictating the pace of games. Conversations in locker rooms, on sports talk shows, and across social media platforms all seem to echo a common sentiment. This acquisition might signal the Raiders' intention to compete at the highest level with a renewed focus on dominance and intimidation. Fans are eagerly speculating about how Jones' unique skill set will integrate with the existing defensive lineup, wondering if he will assume an immediate leadership role and inspire teammates to elevate their performance to match his intensity. Sources close to the organization hint that Jones' arrival has already sparked subtle but significant changes behind the scenes, suggesting that the coaching staff is reshaping defensive schemes to fully leverage his ability to read plays and react with almost preternatural timing. Rumors within the team circle indicate that his integration has not been merely procedural. Rather, it is a calculated strategic maneuver designed to instill a new culture of accountability and aggression across the defensive roster. Analysts on various platforms have been dissecting his previous performances, citing his impressive stats, ability to force turnovers, and uncanny knack for breaking up crucial plays at critical moments as clear indicators that his presence could transform the Raiders' defensive effectiveness almost overnight. Social media chatter has amplified these rumors, painting Jones as a potential savior for a team desperate to reclaim the respect of the league's elite offenses. Speculation has also arisen regarding how he will mesh with veteran defenders, whether his high-energy approach will complement or clash with established personalities, and whether his reputation as a hunter will intimidate or inspire those around him. Sources suggest that the team's front office may have deliberately targeted him not just for his athletic prowess, but for his psychological impact on both opponents and teammates, hinting at a broader plan to reshape the Raiders' image and ethos. Conversations among sports writers speculate on his ability to step into leadership immediately, noting that a player with his reputation can influence locker room dynamics profoundly, potentially changing the trajectory of a season that has already faced scrutiny for defensive vulnerabilities and inconsistency. Buzz around the stadium and across local fan forums has grown almost feverishly since the announcement, with whispers suggesting that Jones' arrival could ignite a defensive renaissance reminiscent of some of the Raiders' most storied eras. Insiders hint that there have been secretive off-season drills designed specifically to maximize his impact, suggesting that coaches are meticulously crafting schemes around his ability to anticipate quarterback movements, exploit offensive weaknesses, and turn seemingly innocuous plays into game-changing moments. Analysts speculate that his presence may allow the Raiders to employ more aggressive blitz packages and stunts, adding unpredictability to a unit that has sometimes been criticized for being reactive rather than proactive. The rumors extend beyond the technical aspects of his gameplay, delving into his persona as a motivator and psychological disruptor. Fans speculate endlessly about whether Jones will become a vocal leader in the locker room, someone capable of inspiring teammates through both performance and attitude, and whether his hunter mentality will instill a newfound sense of urgency among the defensive line and secondary. Industry chatter even suggests that rival teams are taking note, quietly adjusting their offensive strategies to account for his presence, acknowledging that his reputation alone could alter play calling and decision-making. The story has taken on a life of its own, fueled by speculation, partial insider leaks, and the collective imagination of a fan base desperate for a spark that could elevate the Raiders from mediocrity to serious contenders. The persistent buzz seems to suggest that Jones' role may not merely be tactical, but transformational, potentially redefining what it means to wear silver and black in the modern NFL. Further speculation revolves around how Jack Jones' arrival might influence the team's draft and acquisition strategies, as rumors circulate that the front office is now more inclined to invest in complementary defenders who can exploit the chaos his presence creates. Analysts have speculated that the Raiders could be planning to adjust their defensive alignment to accentuate his strengths, allowing him to roam freely in coverage or make decisive tackles in open space, effectively making him the cornerstone of a new, fearsome defensive identity. Sources whisper that coaches have been experimenting with hybrid schemes during practice sessions, blending man-to-man coverage with zone concepts specifically designed to leverage Jones' instincts and ball-hawking tendencies. Meanwhile, speculation about his chemistry with existing stars has fueled endless debate. Insiders hint that his competitive nature may challenge some veterans, but ultimately inspire a higher level of performance, suggesting that his influence could extend beyond statistics to alter team culture fundamentally. Social media is ablaze with conjecture, with fans projecting that the Raiders' defensive rankings could skyrocket if Jones performs to expectations, painting him as both the tactical linchpin and the psychological engine of the unit. Convert consistency into one that embodies aggression, precision, and a relentless pursuit of victory. The rumor mill continues to churn, suggesting that the full story of Jones' impact may unfold over months, perhaps years, as the Raiders potentially reshape not only their defense, but also the very perception of their competitiveness in the modern NFL landscape. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.